What's going on, everybody? This is Terry Duran, and today I'm just going to shed some perspective on how men that were very successful with women feel about being faithful to one woman. A lot of times when I talk about this, cheating and being faithful and these type of things on my page, a lot of women struggle to actually put things in perspective. They have their female perspective, which is fine. That's why I try to share the male perspective so that they can see that there is a drastic difference. When we're talking about being in a committed relationship or being faithful to one person, you have to take into consideration a person how they lived when they were single. And so when we're talking about women, most women don't sleep with multiple men at the same time. A lot of single women will only be sleeping with one guy, and a lot of single women won't be sleeping with anybody at all for several months or years. And so when you contrast that to a man that, and I'm not talking about all men because it doesn't apply to all men. I'm talking about the men that are very successful with women that slept with multiple women for a long period of time. Man whores, the players, whatever term you use to describe them. That's who I'm talking about because that's how me and my friends work. So for a guy, let's just say on average, a guy that slept with 3 women a week on average. Sometimes he might, in that lifestyle, there are days where you might sleep with more than one woman in one day. You might have a weekend where you sleep with 3 or 4 different chicks. Sometimes it's the same chicks over and over. Sometimes it's some new coochie, which that in itself it can become very addictive. So when a guy that lived that type of lifestyle for several years gets into a relationship where he's with one woman only, it's a very, very drastic difference. I would compare that to, let's say, for example, there was somebody that was, when they was living with their parents, they had a job, but they could just blow their money, so they could just spend $200 to $400 every week on whatever they wanted. Well, something happened and their financial situation changed to now they have to put themselves on a $150 per month budget. That's a drastic difference, right? To go from spending $400 on whatever you want every week to having a budget of $150 for the entire month. Same type of scenario for a man that's going from sleeping with several women, dwindling it down to one woman. So all women, when we talk about it, they often say things like, you're supposed to sleep with one woman and things like that because that's their perspective. And when you're talking about a committed relationship, is the terms are really not negotiable. There are people that have open relationships. That's the exception to the rule. But in most relationships, a guy can't come and say, well, let me just sleep with 3 chicks. Or, so he can't negotiate. The number's one. The number is, you are going to sleep with me only. And those are it's just understood terms and conditions of being in a relationship. And so when I'm talking about a guy cheating and how women put too much weight on that as a guy's character, what I mean is it takes a lot of effort for a guy to be with one woman coming from that lifestyle for several months, for a couple years. And so a guy that slips up and cheats, that should not outweigh all the time that he was faithful. But women will often say things like, I'm not going to give credit for something you're supposed to do and all that, when that's not really a realistic perspective. You don't have to give them a pat on the back or give them a reward, but you should acknowledge how much effort and loyalty that demonstrates. You know what I mean? Like, because the guy that's living that life is thinking about all the women that he could be sleeping with, all the sex that he used to have. Going from, even if he is being faithful to you, you're probably not giving him as much sex as he had sleeping with 3 different women or sleeping with whoever he wanted. And so those type of things manifest in a man's mind, especially when he's dealing with relationship drama. So I wanted to give some perspective on it because, like I said, it seems like it's something that a lot of women struggle to conceptualize or be able to put into a rational thought. They see their, tunnel vision on, you're supposed to be with one person, and if you don't do that, you're a bad man, and all this type of stuff, when that's really not the case. Because a guy that, say for example, a guy's been faithful for 4 years and then he cheats, does all those 4 years of him demonstrating loyalty and being faithful not matter at all? Well, hell yeah, it matters to him. Because when you're telling them that you want to end the relationship over that one cheating, he's going to reference all the time that he was faithful. Because it takes a lot of effort for a man that was living that type of lifestyle to be committed to one woman. So I just wanted to shed some perspective on the topic. It's a lot of stuff to type, and I really don't have the time to go back and forth with every woman that wants to combat it. So I decided to make a video about it so that I could explain it in a rational manner. So make sure that you follow me on Instagram, on my social media. I'm Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube at Terry Duran. Also, you can tune into my weekly talk show, Talk Time with Terry Duran. It airs on Blog Talk Radio every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. So, like I said, check me out. If you have any questions or concerns, send them to me, and I'll try to do my best to respond and give an honest man's perspective. And I just want to thank you for tuning in.